So it's really important that we take a step back and allow people to be. And what I'm doing is I'm playing my role in this reality. So how can I put this? It's more than one thing going on at once here. Yes, I'm in this reality and I'm experiencing the drama. Yes, I'm having my soul journey. Yes, I don't want to interfere. Yes, I'm having this interview, and yes, I am interfering. Did you see the paradox here? Because if I didn't want to interfere, I could just sit in the cave and just let the world go by and not worry two hoots about it. You know what I mean? But I've actually incarnated to play a role as well. So it's about knowing how to play your role without interfering too much. It's all about balance. It's striking that balance in your journey. It's knowing the journey you're undertaking, and basically going down that path and not trying to steer off the path one way or the other too much.
Well, by doing what we're doing, we're allowing those people who are seeking to have something to find, as opposed
exactly.
to...
We're helping. What we're doing is we're guiding and nurturing, as opposed to, you have to do this and you must, and, the odd point when I will do that is when I have to get a little bit authoritarian and play my role as a galactic counsellor and tell certain beings that they must leave and the show's over, which I've done in the past. So there is that side to me that needs to come out every now and then. But that's, again, being the drama in the movie and taking on my responsibility for who I am. So it's so easy for people to judge, but it's understanding a journey, your life's journey. So if you have a set of obligations and responsibilities, how do you go about that? It's not much different to someone who holds a position of responsibility in this reality. If you're a CEO of a company or even if you're a supervisor, how much do you get into somebody's face about the job that they're doing? Do you take a step back and you let them make a few mistakes so they can learn from it? Or are you just on their back the whole time? It's the same thing, and we're just doing it on a different level. So it's about understanding that.
You talked before about the fact that the Earth has to cleanse herself, and she's clearly doing that on a daily basis right now.
Yeah.
And the Earth changes are all predicted to get more and more intense as we move on over the next couple of years. There's a lot of attention being paid to the sun right now and its solar storms and solar activity. It's been blamed for the earthquake volcano and tsunami in Indonesia the other week. More of that predicted to come. So the people who are leaving the planet over the next 2 years, because they're in the wrong place at the wrong time, so to speak, with these earth changes, that's almost a fifth scenario, really, isn't it? I mean, choosing to opt out.
That's their journey. That's their journey. Like, it's sad. From within this paradigm, I feel emotionally, and not too much emotion, but I have a lot of feeling. I don't get driven by emotions like I used to. It's different. Emotion is energy in motion, and it's feelings that have spiraled out of control. So it's knowing the difference between emotion and feelings. And emotions serve us beautifully because we learn from those scenarios. So emotion's not a negative thing. It's just, it's a tool. And I've gone through lots of emotional states throughout my life, and now I'm more on a feeling basis rather than an emotional basis. So it's two different states, okay? Just want to point that out. And so people have their soul journey, and if it was like in Banda Aceh, all those people that perished in that tidal wave, that was their journey. And people, it's about understanding how this reality is designed from up above, and up above from higher aspects of ourselves. We are the composers, we are the orchestrators and the conductors of these lives, but from a higher level, not from this ego here, George.
It's my belief that, and I don't really know where it came from, but one that's evolved, that the closer we get to 2012, the people who are choosing to leave the planet en masse like that in these large groups where there's a disaster are actually playing their role and doing their part in assisting the ascension process, because I feel that they're taking a lot of the negative energy with them, or karma with them, or whatever you want to call it, that's ultimately raising the vibration of of what's left. Does that make
and
sense?
It's also, if such a large group of people leave all at once, then the people who are left behind and go, whoa, that's pretty full on. Instead of just going about their business and not taking any notice, all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's gotten someone's attention because 250,000 people perished in one go. Okay, that's something to think about. Yeah. That's something to start taking into consideration. It's not like 100 people in an aircraft, people just flob it off. And they do. It's really sad. I've seen it. And on one or two occasions in my life, I've done it, I'm the first to admit to doing things like that. So you'll get to know me. I'm very much a realist. I'm not going to sit here and be all self-righteous and pretentious about life. I'm a real person having a real incarnation and going through it with everybody else. So there's we tend to flob that off. How many times have you done it? We do. We hear it on the news. It becomes like we become immune to it because we hear it so often because that's all that they throw at us. But 250,000 people dying in a tsunami, that's pretty serious. And now we've just had volcanic eruptions and another tsunami. It's going to get more and more and more prevalent as time goes on now because Mother Earth's been holding back. And it's getting to a point where she just can't hold back anymore. And those damn walls that I was talking about are going to burst. And it's all going to spill into the public arena and we're going to see it for what it is.
Today is the 11th of the 11th. And you're probably aware that there is a global meditation organised for today. They're trying to get 1 million people to come together and meditate for peace. And these things are becoming more and more common on auspicious dates. So how much impact can we have if all of this is predestined, if it's all mapped out and planned out, and the Earth is a being who's got her own journey, then how much can we affect by coming together personally or globally and meditating and putting out a good vibe? What difference does it make?
Now you get into the crux of it, okay?
Okay.
Because this is how hard it's been for me because I'm walking between worlds. We are walking between the worlds, right? So imagine having the knowing that everything is totally predestined, but also being in the movie and experiencing it as though you don't know that everything's predestined.
Mm-hmm. I know,
because that's what it's tricky. Like. That's what I experience, right?
Yeah.
So because we're in linear time, we got past, present, and future. The future's already happened. Doesn't matter. Like from the moment you and I were born, we were always going to be having this discussion right here, right now. Okay, that's the thing. I was always going to be doing this right here, right now. In fact, when this reality was created from much higher levels of the universe 26,000 years ago, that was going to happen right here, right now. That's how fixed it is. It's written, okay? We have this saying in the Greek culture, when someone passes, we say it's written, because it doesn't make any other sense to why that person needed to perish like that. A young person dying in a silly car accident where an animal just came out of nowhere and bumped the car off, hit a tree and killed them. We get that in Australia with the kangaroos, by the way. So, things like that happen. So it's understanding that this whole reality is fixed and the future, the outcome is done and dusted. Now, people don't like that because where does free will come into it? See? And the question of free will, it's the free will on the higher levels playing out that this reality is fixed. And then we've got this level of us in the drama down here, and we're experiencing free will on this level.
Does that? I think so, but does it mean that from the moment I'm born, there are fixed paths, and I can through will I can change the path?
Totally. But you cannot change the path.
No, but I can swap. Is there multiple paths, and I can through free will
from the much higher realms that created this whole reality and this journey. Yeah. Collectively, you, me, everybody involved, all the animal kingdom, everything. Collectively, up in the higher realms of the universe, we created this reality and this experience. So every life form that's involved in this reality here, collectively, we organise this reality, okay? It's fixed from up on those levels. Now you come down a few levels. Then they're the levels that will say, yes, you can change it. Do you get what I'm saying? And then we're down in the drama.
When you're here in the drama, are you saying that we got nothing? We got nada.
From the perspective of here in the drama, sure. Can I choose to have this glass of water right now? There you go. I just chose to have a sip right then. From much higher realm, I was always going to have that sip. So we're experiencing life on different levels. Do you know what I mean? Up here, life is perceived in a way. Down here, it's perceived in a different way. So down here, we think we've got free will, but up there, we conducted and orchestrated this whole reality, and I was always going to have that sip of water.
I think I know what you're saying now. Like there was a movie with Gwyneth Paltrow, I can't remember the name of it, but it was about two different scenarios where she caught a train and she missed a train. And Sliding
Doors?
Sliding Doors, that's the one.
That's it.
That's the one.
Love that one. Yeah, because I experienced that.
In what sense?
I experienced that scenario, but for me it was I was in my home, and I'd seen that movie years before this happened, and I was in my home, and all of a sudden I got this urge to walk back to the door to check if the door was locked. And as I was doing it, I was going, I've locked the door, why am I doing this? I still just walked up to the door, checked to see it was locked, and then I got in my car and drove off. And that took an extra, I would say, 5 seconds. And then as I was driving up past my house, the road curved like that. This car came around the corner, came right over to my side of the road. The guy's face freaked out. I could still see the guy's face because we were going to have a head-on, and he quickly swerved. So if I'd have been 5 seconds, not even, 3 seconds further up the road, he would have smashed into me, we would have had a head-on, and my life would have been different. And I tuned in, I would have had broken legs, I would have had everything in hospital. My life's journey would have been totally different. But in that moment, I was guided just to go and check that door, which totally changed the scenario.
So what you're saying is that decision to go and check the door didn't occur to you at this third dimensional level. You were always going to go back and check the door.
Yes.
Okay.
It was recalibrating me in this matrix. And that's not from the higher realms where everything's fixed. That's an intermediate level that did that.
Okay. So guidance...
I hope I'm not confusing you too much.
No, I think I'm getting this clearer.
So it's understanding that this...
guidance, you know, when we suddenly have that urge, or we suddenly get that idea, or just feel that compulsion.
Yeah.
It's actually something from a higher level, not seeing... How can I put it? Not changing things moment to moment, just making sure that we're staying fixed on the path that was already created. Yeah. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
And some people will call it God, but it's really the higher aspect of yourself, which is God anyway. If you want to, we're all one. You know. So it really, really is a higher aspect of yourself, which is recalibrating in the matrix here, just readjusting your timing in this reality.
Okay, back to Earth Changes a little bit.
Yes.
A lot of people out there talking about stockpiling food, becoming energy efficient.
Hang on.
Yeah?
I'm so sorry to do this.
No.
But, you know, I'm getting things from my greater being, just from within here, something came out. This is a really important point.
Yeah.
So people know that when these things occur, you come to realise that, hang on a minute, you know, I didn't have that car accident. So I'm still here. So that means I'm meant to be here. Mm-hmm. Okay? So I want people to understand that they're meant to be here. And you realise that you have an outcome to this life. You start to see your journey on a greater level. And you realise, hang on a minute, I have an outcome to my life here. And then when you realise that there is an outcome, that I know I'm going to be a part of this outcome to this reality. So when Mother Earth ascends, I'm going to be a part of that outcome. I'm going to be safe through this journey. And I want people to know that about themselves too. I want people not to worry, not to be overcome with fear and uncertainty, that this reality has an outcome and they are going to be a part of that outcome. And not to get caught up in the drama. You're going to be all right. If you just allow your higher aspects of yourself to... It gets down to this ego releasing and surrendering the control of this life to a greater aspect of our being, because we're not really in control. That's just an illusion. And the free will we have down here is an illusion. It's an illusion of the lower ego to think that you have free will in this reality.